Now let me ask you a question. Do you feel like you lack control over your own personal information? Does it seem impossible to go through daily life without being tracked online? If you do, you aren't alone in feeling concerned and confused. A lot of us think our personal data is less secure now, and that data collection has more risks than benefits. Australians are about to get a respite from this. They will gain greater control of their personal information. How will that happen? They will be able to opt out of targeted ads. They'll be able to erase their data. They'll be able to sue for serious breaches of privacy. And that's not all. Australians will be able to choose if they want to be geo-tracked. For the collection of any such data, the consent of the consumer will be essential. Only in Australia for the moment. All of this is thanks to a proposed new law. The Attorney General of Australia, Mark Dreyfus, has released a review. It looks into the modernisation of the Privacy Act. The Act celebrates its 35th birthday this year. Now, to give you more context, this was considered a mobile phone the year the law was adopted. It's safe to say it isn't smart to follow a law from 1988 that looks at how smartphones are used. And we are not the only ones saying this. Dreyfus said, it's clear that our privacy laws are woefully out of date. This document is not government policy yet. It will be taken up soon, and it will force businesses to make significant changes in Australia. Changes on how they use your personal information. The government of Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has taken this up on priority. The focus is on data protection. In 2022, a bill was passed. It increased penalties on companies that fail to protect consumer data. And now this new law will take it further. It will not only affect businesses, but also look at how political parties use your data. They will have to publish a privacy policy. They will also have to stop targeting voters based on sensitive information. This is a major issue in Australia. Political parties get exemption on the use of voter data. And there have been major data breaches in the country. The data of 10 million customers was stolen from one company. It affected about 40% of Australia's population. It was the worst data breach in Australia's history. Then you have targeted advertising. What is that? It is part of behavior-based advertising. You see, social media platforms track your behavior. They map your interests, what you like, what you don't like, what you watch, and then when you browse online, you see ads that match your interests. This is basically targeted advertising, and it works. More than 90% of the times it works. So what's the problem? The problem is they're snooping on you. Targeted ads work on the principle of surveillance. You're tracked online. Your browsing activities are tracked. Your information is collected and sold. Australia wants you to be able to opt out of it. It's a step in the right direction, we say. The problem of targeted ads, though, is not limited to Australia. India got new guidelines for consumer protection in 2022. This was to prevent misleading ads, but it's far from enough. Let me ask you another question. Did you see an Instagram ad soon after you were talking about it with your friend? When was the last time you got a spam call? Let me rephrase. How many spam calls did you receive today? We're not trying to induce paranoia, but you will agree that this is all a little creepy. Who is gatekeeping our personal information and right to privacy? This is a matter for discussion, an urgent one at that. Hopefully, policymakers will give it the attention it deserves.